Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to United View. Welcome to a quick Flex's View. I'm on location. I'm here at Sky Sports, just doing up transfer season. And on that note, it's transfers for Man United that I need to talk about right now, of course, because Joshua Zirkzee, apparently, Juve are interested in him for a swap deal for Dusan Vlahovic. And this is an interesting one because, look, obviously Zirkzee hasn't worked since he's come here. He's had a tough time. You know, the treatment of him against Newcastle was really poor. Listen, I know I apologise for my part in that, you know, when I called him a name and stuff like that. That was I shouldn't have done that. But I got caught up in the moment. But the booing of him in the stadium and stuff like that was particularly bad. He's having a really rough time. His confidence is on the floor. And you don't want to write players off in the first season as well. That's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to start getting into, you know, they're done already. And, you know, it's tough. He's coming to a new league, new country, you know, new team where, look at our team as well. Managers changed as well. So there's a lot that doesn't go in his favour of what makes it, you know what I mean, quite difficult for him. But the early signs aren't good, are they? If we're honest, the early signs aren't good. He's struggling with the pace of the game. His touch is not there. He's not driving at players. He just doesn't look confident at all. And it almost, I think he'll be better suited back in Italy, personally. Like, I think he'll work perfectly well at Juventus. I think he's a talented boy, but I don't see him working in the Premier League. It is early. I like to give people, you know, at least a season to be able to judge. So I'd be disappointed if we cashed in this early, but you know, if Amarim's made his mind up and isn't using him and doesn't think that he's going to be the right fit, we have to start undoing stuff. We have to be ruthless. They ain't got time for sentiment. But here's my thing, guys. Here's my thing. Replacing him with Vlahovic, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying that it's the wrong move to move Joshua Zirkzee on if there's legs in this. Shout out Crookie from TalkSport who's been reporting this. I'm not saying that it's terrible to move Zirkzee on, but to replace him with Vlahovic, I'm not sure that he's the guy that we think he's been, or we thought he would be when he went to Juve from what was it, Fiorentina. I don't know. I feel like, listen, people put up stuff all the time on the net and stuff and try and clown players, and, you know, they're putting up his misses and stuff like that. And look, I think he scored about, about 56 or something goals in 100 or something, 130 or 140 games. I saw a stat. I don't know the exact stat, but I don't see him tearing it up. The noise coming up from around Vlahovic hasn't been that he's gone to Juve and really tore it up and really gone on to that next level. I remember when Arsenal were chasing him all that time, in that time before he went to Juve. And look, he did. I remember watching him at the start of his Juve career, and he did quite well. And he's got ability. He's strong. He's powerful. He's big. You know, he's got a good strike on him as well. But I just don't. I'm just not sure he's gonna. I'm not sure that's the type of striker we need. I'm not sure. There's, you know, when there's something about a move that just doesn't feel right, I would say this is it. Now, listen, if it's a loan to the end of the season for both parties, maybe a swap for both would work. You know, maybe that would work, because Vlahovic, if he needs a fresh amount of scene, you know, a new scenery, and Joshua Zirkzee's having a tough time. And look, Motta's obviously at Juve, so it'll be a chance to reconcile with his manager at Bologna, where they did great things last year by getting, I think, in the Champions League. That could fit, and maybe you see how it goes. But it's the permanent side of it that's looking a bit ominous. I mean, there are reports saying that Man United don't want to loan Joshua Zirkzee, which I would think that they would want a permanent move, and that would be interesting as well, because that would be Ineos admitting their L and being ruthless and moving him on. Look, Joshua Zirkzee also hasn't had that much time. As bad as he's been, as much as he's struggled, you know, he's only been here since the summer. You know what, 6 months-ish. So it isn't long to fully judge a player, and really under Amarim, it's only going to be a couple of months that he's had a chance. But we can see, though, in the 10, he's not it. We can see in the 9, he's not it. The game's passing him by. He's looking like, you know, he's really struggling with the pace, with the level that is in this country. But that's not to say he won't improve, though. But I just look at him, and it is what the type of player he is, or the playing style he has. It doesn't fill me with confidence that he's gonna cut the mustard and he's gonna make it. I don't think he's mobile enough. I don't think he has that intensity in his game. He seems like quite a passive player, quite a calm player, likes to play at his own pace. And look, if you use him correctly and the pace of the game suits him, I think he can be effective, but I just don't think that's going to happen here. But it's all about us being ruthless. We have to give Ruben what he needs, and we know we need to get players out in order to get players in. We're not going to be able to spend money unless we get creative, unless we get ruthless as well. And we can't have time for sentiment. We can't have time for it. If we think that it's not going to work, and Ruben Amorim's had a look at Joshua Zirkzee and gone, not for me, and he would like Vlahovic, of course, okay, we've got to get behind it. But it would be a 10 for a 9, wouldn't it, really? Because Zirkzee in this system is a 10. You know, he can play as a 9, but you know, the 9's situations where we've got big problems, because Højlund's not good enough by himself, needs more time. He's not good enough, nowhere near good enough right now. Vlahovic is obviously a lot more experienced. He is powerful. He is. I'm not going to say rapid, but he's you know, quick enough. But I'm just not sure. You know what? It just feels like someone's stock's falling. You can't say definite. I'm not going to sit here and say 100% like that move will not work. But there's just something about it that doesn't feel right. I want you guys to let me know as well in the chat, because I can't put my finger on it. It just doesn't feel like. Maybe it's because of the hype that Vlahovic had when he made that move to Juve, and it feels like he's fallen short of that. But, you know, it's no different to, you know, Matthias de Ligt. You know, had a lot of hype when he went to Bayern. You know, the misconceptions of how terrible he was and he was awful and this, that and the other weren't entirely true. Now, listen, I don't watch Juventus, you know, 90 minutes every league game. I don't watch Vlahovic week in, week out in Serie A. So it is probably a little bit unfair for me to completely write him off with it. So I won't do that. But at the same time, there's just something about that name. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the right move. But you never know. We have to speculate to accumulate, and we have to be ruthless. We have to try things. And if Ruben Amorim decides that that's the guy, then, you know, then so be it. But also, we have to think of the summer as well. Is this going to be a short-term fix getting Vlahovic in, like I said, on a loan for loan, like a swap just to the end of the season, because both players are a bit out of sorts potentially? Or, you know, do we do this permanently now and invest heavily into Vlahovic? You know, if Rashford leaves and there's money there, I don't think we should spend that money on Vlahovic. But then again, if you get Zirkzee out the door for a fee, we paid what, 35 million for him. Is that enough to get Vlahovic at this stage? I don't think it is. Surely he's gonna be more than that. So watch this space and we'll see. Vlahovic swap deal or Vlahovic deal with Zirkzee going the other way. Yay or nay? You lot taking that? Let me know. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm out of here. Peace.